Hello, Lad Lane Leopards. Mr. A here. Guess what time of year it is? That's right, you guessed it, March Madness. Of course, it's not the real March Madness of like college basketball, but our March Madness of books that we like to do every year here at Lad Lane. So to kick off our March Madness videos, our first matchup is Randy Riley's Really Big Hit versus When You Can Swim. Remember, when it comes to voting, you may vote in the comment section of this video, or you can come and vote in person in the library with Miss Alicia. There are papers in here already, so you can write down what your vote is for each book in each video and which book you would like to see advance to the next round. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hi, I'm Nico, and today I'm going to be reading Randy Riley's Really Big Hit by Chris Van Dusen. Randy Riley stood at bat. He gazed out at the mound. His knees began to tremble. His heart began to pound. Then Randy started thinking about the pitcher's throw. He wondered, without gravity, how far would the ball go? And as he stood there pondering, strike three went whizzing by. "You're out," he heard the umpire call, then walked off with a sigh. See, Randy was a genius. He just couldn't hit the ball. He struck out every time at bat. He wasn't good at all. But something beyond baseball brought a smile to Randy's face. What Randy Riley really loved was stuff from outer space. He studied all the planets. He memorized their tilt. He researched how the thrusters on the rocket ships were built. He knew the constellations and the light year to the stars. And wouldn't it be great, he thought, to ride a bike on Mars? When Randy Riley got back home, he went up to his room, and he knew he stunk at baseball, and it filled his heart with gloom. So he took his favorite robots from the shelf above his bed and staged a game of baseball with his robot team instead. That night, before he went to sleep, Randy scanned the sky, and through his Spaceboy telescope, a glimmer caught his eye. He fiddled with the focus till he saw it crystal clear. It was a massive fireball, and it was coming near. Alarmed, he started plotting the projection of his path. He formulated diagrams, and he double-checked his math. He calculated quickly and concluded with a frown. In 19 days, the fireball would crash into his town. Randy Riley flew downstairs to warn his mom and dad. The impact would be major, and the damage would be bad. He explained the situation until his face was red, but they told him he was tired, and they sent him off to bed. Poor Randy couldn't sleep at all. He thought the whole night through. By morning it was obvious just what he had to do. He gathered what he needed with determined resolution and lugged it off behind the shed to work on his solution. Randy toiled for 18 days while other kids had fun. But he was on a mission, so he worked till he was done. At breakfast on the 19th day, the news announcer said, "This is a special bulletin, emergency, code red. A fireball's approaching. It just flew past the moon. It's coming fast, so be prepared for it to hit by noon." Everybody burst outside as fear and panic grew, but Randy ran back to the shed. He had a job to do. He grabbed the tarp and gave it a tug. He slid off to reveal the mighty Mammoth Robot Man. He welded out of steel. The robot needed power, and Randy knew precisely that 97 batteries would energize it nicely. The eyes lit up, the engine whirled. Step 1 was now complete. So far, so good, thought Randy. It thundered down the street. Step 2 of Randy's mission took place just south of town, in a section known as Millville, where he slowed the robot down. The robot ripped the smokestack of an old abandoned mill. Then Randy turned the throttle knob to march him up the hill. Back in town, the people were frightened as could be, but Randy knew the time had come for critical step 3. The robot burst out through the trees, stepped up, and took a stance while everybody fell silent. As if frozen in a trance, Randy's eye was on the ball. No room for error now. 3, 2, 1, and flipped the switch. A swoosh, and then kapow! A blinding flash, a booming crash. He knew what he had done. Randy Riley had a hit, his very first home run. The fireball sailed out of sight. A rousing cheer began. Hooray for Randy Riley and his giant metal man. And as the crowd went crazy, Randy stood there with a grin and mumbled, "How predictable, a fastball low and in." When things returned to normal, after Randy saved the day, he went back to the baseball field to join his friends at play. And though he swings in earnest, he rarely hits the ball. But that's okay, because Randy had the biggest hit of all.
When You Can Swim by Jack Wong. When you can swim, first, I'll take you to the ocean. Past the sandpipers tracing the shape of wave on the shore, past the edge of wet splashing at your ankles, to receive the water's welcome. When you can swim, you'll know how to float just by lying on your back, watching treetops drift by. And I'll lift my head to make sure the shore hasn't wandered too far. Just remember to wriggle your toes now and then. When you can swim, you'll reach landscapes as foreign as the moon. No spaceship required. Except the craters are squishy and filled with reeds, ready to swallow loose sandals. But like good explorers, we'll leave only footprints. When you can swim, we'll bend like boulders beneath rushing waterfalls, letting the current carry midday sun from upstream down to our shoulders, letting it make us round and whole. When you can swim, we'll listen to the clinking of waves passing in and out of a million pebbles, telling of countless days and months and years, telling of caves that lie beyond the rocky point. Then we'll tumble into the water as the pebbles do. When you can swim, you'll rise before even the sun, wondering if the smoke on the lake is really a steaming sauna that would make a perfect remedy for brisk morning air. Then jump in and see for yourself just how balmy the water is. When you can swim, we'll slip into the pond at dusk, when the fish awaken in the air, feasting on twilight's bugs. We'll tread still and quiet, not to disturb their work, just to watch the ripples break the surface. When you can swim, I'll count you down if you dare to dive off the bridge, over the canal. Underneath is an amphitheater laced with late afternoon light that will echo your voice 1,000 times over, if you also dare to sing. When you can swim, you'll conquer any fear of tannin-soaked lakes, pitch dark from tree bark like oversteeped tea, because that darkness will turn glittering gold when you gather it by the handful. When you can swim, we'll set our sights on that little island where I know the blueberries are sweetest every summer. It'll look close enough, but prove farther at halfway. Then the whitecaps will pick up. But slipping, bending, listening, reaching, rising, floating, daring, conquering. We'll make it over. When you can swim, I'll take you there. So swim, little one.
All right, Loud Lane Leopards, please let me know in the comments which book you would like to see move on to the next round. Both great readings, one by my son, Nico, in 2nd grade, and the other by Miss Alicia in our library. So pick your favorite, vote on which one should advance the next round so you can hear it once again. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to vote.